Hi everyone, my name is Gloria Mbiro. I'm a born-again believer and Jesus is my friend, and I'm here to share my story about my testimony on how the Lord has healed my eyes. It began in 2010. I had a challenge normally with wearing glasses. So after a while, the situation escalated, and so I needed to see doctors. So I went to Lions Hospital, I went to CTI, I went to Kenyatta Hospital, but they didn't find what was really going on with the eyes. Much later in 2017 is when I was diagnosed with TB for the first time in my eyes. It was a shock. And that's when I understood now what was really happening to my eyes, because I used to have a lot of inflammation, but the doctors really never explained it while I was still going to see them prior. So I got onto the medication for TB for 6 months, and I thank God, because in that season He sent me destiny helpers to help me with the financial load and just walk the journey, because you had to go to hospital every month for them to check your weight and to see if you're taking the medication for the TB. So after 2017, I got TB again in 2020. I was diagnosed with TB again, and in 2020, this time things were thick because it was the year for COVID, so moving about was limiting, so I had to go to the nearest hospital where I was staying at the moment. And again, because of my profession, I'm in the field of interior design, the financial challenge came in again, the constraints, and also having to go to hospital and having to walk that journey alone this time, because of the confinements and everything. So I had to go to the nearest hospital where I was staying, which was a general hospital, a government hospital, and it was challenging, but I thank God, because again, 6 months I had to take the medication. So in 2021, heading to 2022 is when things escalated now, and I didn't know at the moment what was happening in regards to my retina detaching, because we are not all informed on matters of the eye, so I really didn't know that my retina was detaching, and so it detached. And normally when the retina detaches, there has to be an emergency surgery to be done, but I wasn't in a position to do it, so I lost my eyesight in my left eye. And it was a challenging and taxing season, because at the same time things were happening at home. And I needed to vacate where I was staying and get accommodation. So I was housed by my friend in that season. So that's 2023 now, when I lost eyesight in my left eye, and the right eye eyesight was deteriorating and my vision was reducing. But by that time, I was still able to move around and be independent. So my friend housed me for 7 months, and I moved to Limuru. And moving to Limuru, I got a job, and I was able to maneuver my way, thank God. It was a flexible place, and I was able to be independent and take care of myself and go to hospital. Then the inflammation came back again, so I had to move again, because each time my eyes got inflamed, my vision became less, and by that time my vision was 30% in the right eye. So maneuvering and moving about was tricky, and also operating only during the daytime, and not being able to read or see small fonts, so I could only read large fonts. And during this process, the condition I had is uveitis and glaucoma. So I had to get injections every 3 months in the eye for the controlling of the condition because it's a chronic disease, and that was the only solution the doctor had. So I found a doctor in Westlands who, by the mercies of God, was kind enough to walk with me this journey. And I truly thank God for him, because towards the end of 2023 actually is when he was so firm with me and told me that I needed to take things seriously, because I had been visiting so many doctors because I wanted to find out if there was a way we could repair the left eye and work on the right eye so the vision doesn't become lesser than 30%, because it was already at 30% by the time I had found him. So we walked the journey together with this doctor in Westlands, and so far so good. But each time I kept going for checkups, he'd tell me I have a cataract that's growing in the pupil of my right eye. And he said it's in a very tricky place. So that was another challenge, because his concern for me was, considering I have one eye that is operational, whether to do the surgery or not. So for quite some time, it was a challenge for him and also for myself, because my vision was so blurred, it was foggy, and it was quite limiting. And for him, his concern was doing the surgery and not sure of the outcome, if I'll get to see or not see. And so it's something I had prayed about, I was praying about even with my friends, and God had given a word for me in 2022 actually, through a friend's son, of me receiving new eyes. So for me, that's truly what has kept me going. The vision he had of God delivering new eyes to me. So that's the backstory of my strength and my faith in keeping up. And also coming to the point where, having the cataract removed, I had a dream one day, and in the dream I was removing a white film with my hands from my eye. So now when the doctor agreed and finally said it's time for us to have the cataract removed, I sensed in my spirit that it was the Lord speaking, because in December of 2025 in church, I remember the pastor giving a word and saying that someone who has a cataract is going to receive their healing. And in my spirit, I felt it was for me. So come 2026, February, when I went for my checkup, that's when the doctor said it's time. But the way he said it just made me feel and know and sense it was God speaking through him. And the Lord reminded me of that dream I had, and he said the cataract is going to be removed by the hands of man. For me, my greatest desire was to experience the supernatural, which I am still banking on, because yes, he promised me new eyes. So I'm holding on to that fact, because I know he has done it for others, he'll do it for me. And I'm grateful this far that he has allowed me to go through the process. Initially, I didn't understand, because from my family in my home, we don't have a challenge with eyesight. So this was an assignment that the Lord turned around. Like, whatever the enemy meant for evil, God has turned it around, and especially for me to grow and in my faith and in the place of my calling, where healing is concerned. And initially it wasn't easy, because I didn't understand what was going on. I was attacked so much, my faith was attacked. I was made to feel like there was something I was doing wrong, and it was a real heavy process, especially in 2024. It was really burdensome. Like, waking up, going to work was such a task. Like, literally, I remember I would dress seated because of how heavy this was for me in that season. But I thank God, because through it all, I must say and testify that God has been with me. Holy Spirit has been the wind beneath my wings. If it wasn't for him, for sure, I don't know where I would have been, because when you're used to seeing and then all of a sudden you're not seeing, it takes a lot of adjustment, and having to be the one running your own company and all that, so much was taken from me, being a creative, an interior designer, and being in charge of my company. It was really taxing in terms of everything: time, strength, friendships, relationships, family, and everything. And this far, I can testify and say that God has truly strengthened me and brought me this far to even give my story, because I remember in 2022, I really used to sing the song by Naomi Rain, "This is the story I'll tell." And I'm glad because I'm telling my story, and it's not really mine, it's God's story through me, because He's speaking through me. And I know that this testimony will be an encouragement to many, especially those who are dealing with health challenges. It's never easy, it's very taxing, it's consuming, it's very tiring. You actually feel like you're carrying a burden, but I thank God because His grace has surely and truly been sufficient. He surrounded me with helpers, and even where my business is concerned, I'm grateful for the people I work with because they have been trustworthy, and I thank God because of these relationships He has surrounded me with and bringing me this far. So in March, I got the surgery done, and it was a success. And for the first time in a long time, it was nice to see colors clearly without the fog, and to be able just to see even the faces of people, because I could only see people as silhouettes. And for me, the cataract surgery gave me hope and strengthened me, and also took me to another level in my faith. That I am healed. I am healed, and that which I wait for is my new eyes, because I know I will see again 2020, and I will testify, and I am still testifying of God's goodness and His love for me where it concerns my eyes, and Him using this situation to build my faith and trust in Him, because kama sio yeye ningekuwa wapi? So that's something I always ask myself, Lord, if it wasn't for you, where would I be? And so I'm grateful and thankful to share my story.